Hi guys, it's Christine. Welcome back to the channel. I had a whole different video planned for this week, but then I saw Weapons last weekend and I have got to talk about it. This is one of the best horror movies I have seen in years. Now, I used to be super into horror movies. Like, I watched all of them. Anything that would come out, I was there for it. And I'm not sure at what point that changed, but my blood pressure just cannot take it anymore. I got to the point where I would be sitting in the theater like, why am I doing this to myself? So I don't see them as much as I used to. Also, I live in a much smaller town now, and the movies that come through, we don't get everything. So the fact that they got Weapons this time, I was very happy about it because I really wanted to see it, despite the fact that I knew it was going to be scary, and scary it is. It is so creepy and so good. I'm going to start with the basic storyline. So you open with a voiceover of a kid from this school saying that one night at 2:17 in the morning, all these kids got up and went downstairs, walked out into the night, and never came back. And all the kids that disappeared are from one classroom in this school. So you've got 17 kids who are missing, and then you've got the teacher, Miss Gandy, and one student who is the only one that didn't disappear. He is obviously traumatized by what happened and isn't talking very much, so fair enough. And then you've got the townspeople have sort of turned against the teacher because they figured that there has to be a reason. It's only students from her class that went missing. And you've got one dad of the students who is very much stirring the pot of she's the problem. So the cool thing about the movie is that it's told through the eyes of 5 characters. You've got Miss Gandy, who's the teacher. You have Archer, who is the dad of one of the students who's gone missing. You've got the principal, you've got a cop, and then you've got a drug addict who lives in the town or is passing through town. So it's very cool because it's not that it jumps around in time so much, like a little bit, but everything that happens in each sort of timeline is the same, but the emphasis changes depending on whose perspective it's told from, which I really liked. And then the resolution is just, it is chef's kiss. It is so good. It's really funny too. Like, that's what I think I liked about this movie so much, is that you have this real creepiness going on and it gets just unbearable at times. Like, it is so creepy, but then it is so funny in the very next minute. I really enjoyed that. I think another thing that I really enjoyed about it is that there are jump scares, but they're earned, because a lot of horror movies tend to rely on jump scares to get people going. And yeah, that's fine. Like, I expect it. It's not the worst, but these ones feel really earned somehow. So I really like that. Amy Madigan is in this movie. Now, when she shows up, she looks very different from how she normally looks. And I was sitting there like, I know that actress, but what do I know her from? And it wasn't until the movie was almost over that I realized, oh, that's Amy Madigan from Uncle Buck. Or Field of Dreams. Probably a lot of people would know her from that too. I know that horror movies don't pass out, they don't get Oscars hardly ever, but I really, really hope she gets a nomination. She is so good in this movie. I was blown away by her in this movie. I couldn't believe it. So kudos to her. You've also got Julie Gardner, who plays Miss Gandy, and she's really good. Her character is has been accused of inappropriate behavior, but like inappropriate in a good way, like, driving kids home when they miss the school bus and that kind of thing. Like, not anything yucky. But she's been accused of that in the past. So she wants to make sure that the one little boy who's the only one that didn't disappear is okay. Like she wants to interfere, but in a good way. But everybody keeps telling her, like, just leave him alone. He's been through enough. Just don't go there, kind of thing. And yeah, I really liked her character. I love Josh Brolin as Archer. He was so good because he's just the perfect guy to play like this tough guy dad who, you can tell is kind of was a bully in his day kind of a character. But he's also hilarious. Like a lot of his scenes are just really funny because they play off of that sort of hyper macho kind of character. I really don't want to say too much because I do feel like it's one of those movies, and this could be said of most movies, but it's definitely one that the less you know going in, the better it's going to be. And it's so creepy, and I love that. I really like that it wasn't just scare, scare, scare. It wasn't just gore, gore, gore. There is some of both of those things in the movie, but more than anything else, it's just really unsettling. I watched a few videos about the movie and sort of like what people think it's about, because there are a lot of different interpretations that you could hang on this movie, and I think that's really cool. I think that is the writer director, his point is to let you do that. I think it's better than spoon feeding you, well, this is what it's about. Because there's a lot of strange imagery in the movie that you could interpret in one way or another. There's also things like the fact that the kids get up at 2:17 in the morning. Like, to me, as a Stephen King fan, that's clearly a nod to The Shining, right? Because that's the room that the old crone is in the hotel. Not in the movie, obviously, but in the book it is. And there's definitely more than one nod to Stephen King in this movie, for sure. So there's also the fact that 17 kids go missing and 2 people from the class remain. So 217. Like, there's different ways that you can interpret it. I think that is my favorite kind of horror movie. I really hate the term elevated horror. I don't believe in any genre of movies having an elevated version. There are good and bad movies, no matter what the genre is. For every Exorcist, you're going to have 100 Slumber Party Massacres but that could be said of any genre, really, because for every Star Wars, you're going to have 1,000 Zardoz movies. For every Lord of the Rings, you're going to have Krull. Like, it doesn't matter what the genre is. If you're telling a story well, people are gonna show up for it. So this is one that I would highly urge everybody shows up for. It's really good, and I think it's even better seeing it on a big screen in the dark. Just, it's so creepy. I will never not lock my car doors again. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give any spoilers, so yeah, there are things in this movie that are just so intense, and I loved it. It was so good. I want to see it again. As I've mentioned before, I live in a town where movies only play here for a week, so I am so happy that I got to see it at all. I cannot wait for it to come out on DVD. I will be watching it again and again and again. I've seen it twice now, and I love that there's a lot of stuff that you pick up on the second time around. It's a lot like one of my favorite horror movies is Get Out, the Jordan Peele movie. And I think that was a great example of a movie that you get so much more from on the second viewing because of what will happen at the end. So this one is very much like that. But apart from it just being a great horror movie, it's also a very dark comedy. It's very funny. There are some scenes that just, I could not stop laughing. The whole last act of the movie, I think I was just like, I kept going from laughing my ass off to just my nails were dug into the seat, you know? It's so good. I really want everybody to go see it. So, yeah, I'll get back to my regular book reviews next week, but I had to talk about Weapons. Go and see it. It is amazing. All right, that's it for me. Bye.